A ship sits frozen solid in the crushing ice of the Arctic Ocean. The crew is miles from civilization, entirely trapped, when they find a man dying in the frozen wasteland. They pull him aboard, but he isn't looking for rescue. He grabs them, wide-eyed and terrified, gasping out a warning about a massive, unstoppable monster hunting him through the snow. To understand why a dying man is being hunted across the ice, we have to rewind the clock. We have to go back to Geneva, Switzerland, and look at exactly where this rivalry started. Long before he was a helpless victim at the edge of the world, Victor Frankenstein was an arrogant aristocrat. He had a singular obsession with conquering death itself, an obsession that ultimately sealed his doom. As a young prodigy, Victor isolates himself and dives into galvanic science. Galvanic science is the study of using electrical currents to stimulate muscle contractions in biological tissue. Victor believes he can use these electrical impulses to restart the biological clock. He spends months stealing bones from charnel houses and scavenging parts from local slaughterhouses. His goal is to stitch together a colossal, 8-foot-tall human being and shock it back into existence. Victor expects his creation to be a beautiful angel. Instead, late on a dreary November night, a dull, pale yellow eye snaps open. Unnatural life surges through dead, stitched veins, revealing a grotesque, shriveled reality. Confronted with the horror of his own success, Victor panics. He is entirely disgusted by the creature's appearance. He turns his back, runs out of the laboratory, and leaves his creation behind. That single moment of cowardice has a devastating consequence. Victor has unleashed a confused, superhuman entity into the world, leaving it entirely alone because he was too weak to look at his own handiwork. Left to fend for himself, the monster hides in the woods near a small cottage. By secretly watching the poor family living there, he learns how to speak, how to read, and how to feel empathy. After months of observation, the monster gathers the courage to reveal himself, hoping to finally experience a single moment of human kindness. The family immediately panics, beating him wildly and chasing him back into the wilderness. While wearing a coat he took from the laboratory, the monster discovers Victor's scientific journal inside the pocket. Reading the notes, he realizes his own creator views him as a repulsive, unforgivable mistake. The monster decides to retaliate. He tracks down Victor's family in Geneva, he violently strangles Victor's youngest brother in the dark woods, and carefully plants evidence to frame an innocent girl for the murder. The monster doesn't commit these crimes because he was born evil. He executes a calculated strike against his creator as a direct reaction to universal human cruelty and Victor's absolute betrayal. Creator and creation finally meet face to face on the desolate, freezing peaks of an alpine glacier. The massive scale of the ice creates an entirely isolated arena for their confrontation. The monster delivers an incredibly eloquent and deeply tragic argument. He accepts his role as a fallen angel, cast out of paradise, but he demands Victor create a female companion so he doesn't have to suffer his wretched existence entirely alone. He issues a strict ultimatum. If Victor complies, the monster will take his bride and disappear into the South American wilderness forever. If Victor refuses, the monster promises to butcher every single person Victor loves. Victor initially agrees and begins building the female, but midway through the process, he panics about breeding a race of devils. With the monster watching through the window, Victor violently destroys the female body. Watching his only chance at happiness torn to pieces, the monster howls in despair and delivers a single, absolute promise. I will be with you on your wedding night. By breaking this pact, Victor pushes a superhuman being past the point of no return. The monster has absolutely nothing left to lose, guaranteeing a war of mutual destruction. Months later, the suffocating paranoia of Victor's wedding night sets in. He paces the halls of the inn with a pistol in hand, entirely focused on his own impending death. But Victor misunderstands the monster's psychological warfare. The creature didn't come to kill Victor. He came to make him suffer by sneaking into the bedroom and murdering his new bride, Elizabeth. Elizabeth's brutal murder triggers an immediate domino effect. When the news reaches Victor's elderly father, the shock causes the old man to die of grief, severing Victor's final remaining tie to humanity. Through his desperate, cowardly attempts to save himself, Victor brings about the exact ruin he feared. He is now completely obsessed, consumed by hatred, and just as alone as the creature he birthed. This diagram shows a relentless, world-spanning chase. Victor pursues the monster out of Europe, following erratic clues to the North Pole. The red line dead ends at the icebound ship, where Victor collapses and dies of exhaustion, leaving his vengeance unfulfilled. When the monster finally discovers Victor's corpse, he doesn't gloat. Instead, he weeps over the body. He realizes his violent revenge has only left him with a horrifying, empty void. The monster leaps from the ship into the darkness, intending to build a funeral pyre and burn himself alive. The arrogant quest to conquer death only guaranteed the destruction of all life.